Hello and welcome back to the channel. On this channel, I like to keep people informed and up to date as to what to expect in this world. And I have a feeling that a lot of people are underestimating what is coming. So I have a question. Are you estimating the trouble that's coming? There was a very interesting article that I want to share with you all. In this article, it's telling you the chaos that the world is about to enter into. As a matter of fact, we've already seen the beginning stages of this chaos. So I believe that it is known. To me, it is definitely out there. It's definitely obvious. But what's happening is a lot of people are just underestimating what's happening. But as time moves on, it's going to be very obvious what's going on, and you will no longer be able to ignore it or underestimate it because it's going to be right smack dab in your face. So let's get to this article. It is actually on the Live Science website. It says that physicists predict Earth will become a chaotic world with dire consequences. Now, already to me, that sounds pretty tripped out. It sounds pretty tripped out, but it is definitely something of concern, something that you should concern yourself with, something that you should pay attention to. It says climate change is pushing hurricanes to their extremes. In 2018, Hurricane Michael, shown here in this digitally enhanced image, became the first Category 5 hurricane to make landfall on the Florida Panhandle. Okay, so this stuff is getting worse and worse, right? It says humans aren't just making Earth warmer, they are making the climate chaotic. This is from a new study. Says the new research, which was posted April 21st to the reprint database, draws a broad and general picture of the full potential impact of human activity on the climate. And the picture isn't pretty. See, I've always known this, that things that we look at as improvement, we look at as technology, is not helping, is actually hurting. And I'm talking about in every category, even the introduction of fast food. It wasn't just that they were going to be able to produce food faster. The introduction of fast food, some people have no idea. Oh, it's so convenient. It makes it easier for me to feed my family. So what they didn't realize is that impacted the Industrial Revolution, to where food began to be grown at a faster pace, needing chemicals to enhance the growth of livestock that you use for food, needing chemicals to spray the ground to keep bugs off of the food, right? And so you're destroying the earth with the chemicals, you're destroying the food with the chemicals, and you're destroying your own body and your own health with the chemicals. So it's not just one thing. You look at it and say a problem is being solved by the creation of fast food. No, that may be one problem that you think is solved. Really what it is a whole slew of problems that have been created because we don't think things through. Society doesn't think things through, right? So back to the article. It says, while the study doesn't present a complete simulation of a climate model, it does paint a broad sketch of where we're heading if we don't curtail climate change and our unchecked use of fossil fuels. According to the study authors, scientists in the Department of Physics and Astronomy at the University of Porto in Portugal. So if this thing continues to go unchecked and people just keep on saying, look, we're making things better, we're inventing this, we've created that, and not look at the impact that it's going to have on the earth or the population, things are just going to get worse. They're going to go from bad to worse, you see. But most people don't think about this. This is why I say, and I'm going to come back to the article in just a moment. But this is why I say a lot of people are actually underestimating the trouble that's coming. They're underestimating the trouble because they believe everything that's said to them. When they were saying back in the day, they had these commercials out, the little black and white cartoon commercials, and they just say GMOs are good for you. In other words, they were telling you that genetically modified food is good for you. And most people say, wow, it's good for us because someone told you. They hadn't proven anything, but they told you it was good for you. And that was good enough for you. Just the mere fact that someone told you. This is why, even though when we buy things, we try to buy as much organic as we possibly can. But realistically, I know that even those who say that something is organic, I know that there could be some bald-faced lies up in there. I know that there's something going on that if we could see the production of even that so-called organic food from start to finish, we just might change our mind. You see? So I think, being realistic is very important at this point. Don't underestimate the trouble that's coming. Don't let your own mind fool you because of something somebody else has said. So getting back to the article. It says, climate shifts. Earth periodically experiences massive changes in climate patterns, going from one stable equilibrium to another. These shifts are usually driven by external factors like changes in the Earth's orbit or a massive surge in volcanic activity. But past research suggests we are now entering a new phase, one driven by human activity. As humans pump more carbon into the atmosphere, we are creating a new Anthropocene era, a period of human-influenced climate systems, something our planet has never experienced before. In the new study, researchers modeled the introduction of the Anthropocene as a phase transition. Most people are familiar with the phase transitions in materials. For instance, when an ice cube changes phase from a solid to a liquid by melting into water, or when water evaporates into a gas. But phase transitions also occur in other systems. In this case, the system is Earth's climate. A given climate provides for regular and predictable seasons and weather, and a phase transition in the climate leads to a new pattern of seasons and weather. When the climate goes through a phase transition, this means that Earth is experiencing a sudden and rapid change in patterns. Wow. So listen, y'all, this is why I say there seems to be an underestimation of what is really happening on the planet. A definite underestimation. So, logistic problems. If human activity is driving a phase transition in Earth's climate, that means we are causing the planet to develop a new set of weather patterns. You see? Even though, I'm breaking away from the article for a moment, even though they say that human activities are doing this, all of this stuff was prophesied, meaning the Most High knew. He says, I know your thoughts are far off, right? That's written in scripture. He says, I know your thoughts are far off. The Most High already knew the thoughts and imaginations of man, that they would do things that was going to destroy the planet. This is why the Bible is so accurate when it prophesies the things that we're going to see in these last days. Okay? Says what those patterns will look like is one of the most pressing problems of climate science. What is Earth's climate? Where is Earth's climate headed? That depends significantly on exactly what our activity is over the next few decades. Drastically reducing carbon output, for example, would lead to different outcomes than changing nothing at all, the researchers wrote in the study. To account for the different trajectories of choices that humanity could make, the researchers employed a mathematical tool called a logistics map. The logistics map is great at describing situations where some variable, such as the amount of carbon in the atmosphere, can grow but naturally reaches a limit. For example, scientists often use the logistics map to describe animal populations. Animals can keep giving birth increasing their numbers, but they reach a limit when they consume all the food in their environment, or their predators get too hungry and consume them. So I see what they're saying there. There has to be a balance. It all goes back to balance. And I think humans have made everything out of balance. They force this disbalance. This is why they're saying there's a shortage of food, right? Because a number of factors are playing into this so-called shortage. Of course, there's some human intervention there as well, right? When you start destroying the planet and you're destroying the earth, of course, it's going to be more difficult to grow food naturally. So you're going to have to introduce chemicals to the ground to get the reproduction you're looking for. And those chemicals are going to kill people and animals, right? Killing the soil, killing the planet, causing other type of natural disasters that were caused by human error. Natural disasters meaning weather outputs or weather catastrophes, right? So there's so much more to this article here. I'm going to read this last portion here where it says everything is in chaos. It says the researchers explored different ways that the human logistics map could evolve depending on a variety of factors like our population, introduction of carbon reduction strategies, and better, more efficient technologies. Once they found how human carbon output would evolve with time, they used that to examine how Earth's climate would evolve through the human-driven phase transition. In the best cases, once humanity reaches the limit of carbon output, Earth's climate stabilizes at a new, higher average temperature. This higher temperature is overall bad for humans. Wow. Because it still leads to higher sea levels and more extreme weather events, but at least is stable. Now, one thing I wanted to say about this is that this is probably why they're trying to reduce the Earth's population. But instead of them trying to fix stuff like what this article is talking about, eliminating things, reducing carbon output and things of that nature, they want to reduce the human population, in which that's happening too because of some of the things they're doing, but they wanted to reduce a lot faster, right? Instead of just changing their ways, how they do things, right? The way that they're doing things right now is just making it literally impossible to fix what's been harmed on the planet. This is why Bible prophecy tells you that there is going to be destruction to this planet, right? That's what we look forward to. Even though they're trying to come up with solutions, I think we're past the point of solutions. Okay, so they say the worst case scenarios, the researchers found that Earth's climate leads to chaos, true mathematical chaos. In a chaotic system, there is no equilibrium and no repeatable patterns. A chaotic climate would have seasons that change wildly from decade to decade or even year to year. Some years would experience sudden flashes of extreme weather, while others would be completely quiet. Even the average Earth temperature may fluctuate wildly, swinging from cooler to hotter periods in relatively short periods of time. It would become utterly impossible to determine in what direction Earth's climate is headed. A chaotic behavior means that it will be impossible to predict the behavior of Earth's system in the future, even if we know with great certainty its present state. Okay, so I am going to end the article there, but this is all very concerning to me, and I know it should be to you as well, because this is what man has done. You called it innovation, you called it ingenuity, you called it solving of problems, fixing problems, but you've actually created a ton of problems. You have created chaos on the earth. All of this was prophesied, right? Because the Most High knows the thoughts of man afar off. He already knew the destructive nature of man and their inventions. So this is what we must deal with. But my question to you is, are you underestimating the trouble that's coming? Are you underestimating what man has done to destroy this planet? Ask yourself that question. And if you feel at this point that you are, make some changes right now. It's time to wake up. With that, I'm out.